We know that Romulans split off from the Vulcans around 2 to 2,500 years ago, depending on the century we're talking about. But what are the actual differences we know about the two species? Well, starting with Vulcans, of course, both species are humanoid. Vulcans are on average about 3 times stronger than a human of proportional size. They have a much more logical and analytical mind, and they are known for their emotional discipline, although this is not a biological trait. They have a second set of eyelids and very dense muscle and bone structure. They have a very high tolerance for heat, radiation, and generally tolerance is way above human for pretty much everything else, although the Vulcans do notably have less of a tolerance than humans for the cold. They also possess fairly impressive telepathic abilities. The Romulans, however, do not demonstrate any of the psychic abilities of the Vulcans. Although they are very perceptive people, they are not inherently telepathic as far as we can tell. They do seem to have the Vulcan enhanced strength, but the differences between the two species are often noted as being quite subtle, but a lot of them, as Dr. Crusher would observe. A Vulcan and a Romulan are near identical in almost every way. Of course, some Romulans have quite pronounced cranial ridges, but this depends on what part of the planet they are from, either from the northern or southern hemisphere, for these subtle differences between the Romulans themselves. Vulcan as a planet has much thinner atmosphere and higher gravity than Earth, explaining the enhanced abilities of the Vulcans. Romulus, however, is a much more temperate world, more similar to Earth. Now, of course, 2,000 years is not a great deal of time for significant changes to take place, but we don't often see the Romulans demonstrate the same sort of physicality that we see Vulcans capable of. Certainly they have their strength, but as for their tolerances and other abilities, it's not clear. Again, they've lost the telepathic abilities. It's not clear if they've lost things like the inner eyelid or any of the enhanced strength particularly. The two species, however, do share an analytical mind and a very logical outlook. In short, although there are differences, the differences are subtle but numerous and become pronounced when you look at them overall, but the two races are very similar.